Once again, and welcome to Ray on Sports. I'm your host, Johnny Ray. Come on in, put on your seatbelt, and let's take this ride. Gotta say today, guys, my heart is very heavy. Why, you ask? Because my Lakers lost. They lost on a heartbreaking game on the last second shot by Denver Nuggets guard Jamal Murray. The fact that he was having such a poor shooting night, he went 8 for 23 from the field up to that point and 0 from 5 from three-point range. But that didn't bother him because with about 6 seconds left in the game, he dribbled down the court, went around a pick, was guarded by 6'10 Anthony Davis, and he still pulls up and drains the shot. And then an epic game. So that brings me to today's discussion. What makes a clutch player? What are the things, the characteristics of a clutch player? How does it happen? What do they do? What gives you that umph inside of you that says, give me the ball, put the ball in my hands, I'm going to take this team to where it needs to be. I'm going to take them to a championship. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to win this game. I know we're down by 2 or down by a touchdown or we're down by a run, but I'm going to do what I can because that's what I get paid to do. Now, my question is, does the clutch player mean you're the star of the game? Does it mean you're the star on your team? Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. A clutch player to me sometimes might be the star of the game, but at sometimes it might be that person that knows how to control the game to get the ball where it needs to go. One of the greatest legendary clutch players that I can think of right now is Michael Jordan. But if you think about it, a lot of Michael Jordan's shots weren't a lot of Michael Jordan's wins weren't because he took the last shot. I think one of them was Steve Kerr who took the last shot, and I believe if you go back and watch the tape, you'll see Steve Kerr look at Mike and says, "Just give it to me, I'll be open, I'll make it." So Mike, I think it was Game 6, and Mike dribbled down the court, came in, drove to the hole, but then looked over to the side, and there was Steve Kerr wide open, passed it to him, and he hit the game-winning three-pointer. So clutch to me would be. Let me see. Probably someone who knows how to take the game over. Someone who knows what they're doing. They got characteristics of being a clutch player. You got to be confident. You got to believe in your ability and willing to step up when the time is right. You got to believe that when the game's on the line, that I can do what I need to do to make this happen. But so that comes from confidence. You can't be thinking about it, says, you know what, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We down by 2, we down by a touchdown, we down by a run. Dang, what can I do? Oh, I don't know. Coach, what you think? A clutch player usually tells the coach, I got this. Don't worry about it. Don't call no play. Just everybody clear out and give me the ball. In basketball, I've seen it a lot where players will say they'll wave off their teammates. They'll have a set play set up, and they'll just wave them off and say, you know what, I got this. Don't worry about it. I got you guys. So Jordan was good for that. Kobe was good for that. Magic Johnson was good for that. He knew what he needed to do to win. He had that gene inside of him that just made him a clutch player. The second thing would be to be composed. So you can't be nervous if you're a clutch player. You got to have nerves of steel. You got to block out all the noise, especially if you're in your opponent's gym or your opponent's field and the crowd is going crazy, screaming. You can barely hear yourself. It's deafening in there. You got to block all that out and maintain your composure and do what you need to do to win that game. Like I said, if you have that gene in you, that crowd noise won't even bother you. Or if you're at the free throw line and you got to make that last free throw to win the game, you look up at the crowd and there's some fool behind you or some heckler or something waving something at you, screaming at you, yelling at you, saying all these things to you to try to get you off your game. But if you're composed and your nerves are okay, you ain't got to worry about that. Also, one of the things of a clutch player is to be presently focused. What does that mean? That means you're just focusing on this play right now. You're not focusing on what happened. You're not focusing on the last 5 shots that you missed. You're not focused on the last 3 passes that you threw that were incomplete. You're not focusing on the last time you got up to bat and you struck out. None of that comes into play. because you're just sitting there going, yeah, 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 I got this. And you get up to the plate, or you get behind the center, or you get the ball in your hand, and you say, I got this. I ain't worried about that. And you hear, if you heard the announcers or the people, the commentators that's calling the games, they'll be saying it. Oh, he was 0 for 5 in his last, 3 trips down the floor, or he was this, he missed his 5 last completions to wide open receivers, or last time he was up to bat, he struck out, or he flew out. He didn't time the ball right, or he didn't position himself right. There's analysts for everything. There's an analyst to tell you how you should stand. There's an analyst to tell you what you should look at. There's analysts to tell you how to come down the court, how to shoot your shot. There's analysts for everything. But the analysts I love, and I'm kind of get off the subject a little bit, but the analysts that I love are the ones who actually play the game. So they know what to say, they know what to think. Especially if they've been in those moments, or they know teammates that have been in those moments, they'll say, yeah, he got it, without not even mentioning it. Like, other analysts will be like, well, he was this, and I don't know if he gonna make it, and I don't know if he gonna do it. And that athlete will say, nah, he got it. He's been in these situations before. He knows. He played these in his parking lot. He's played them in the gym. He's played them in college. He knows what he's doing. So it don't matter. They'll do it. Another aspect of it is you can't be afraid to fail. So you'll step up, and yet a clutch player might not make that last shot of the game, or may not make that last touchdown of the game, or might not hit that home run, or that game tying double, or whatever it is. They may not get it, but you got to have that mentality that, yeah, if I miss it, I'm okay, I'm good, on to the next game. Now, it's kind of hard when it's NBA Finals, Game 7 of the World Series, the Super Bowl. That lives with you for the rest of the season, and it's how you respond and how you come back from it that'll define who you are. Because some people never come back from it because I've heard things with different players that they get threatening phone calls from fans. They get emails. They get people coming to their house. Especially if you're like the player that lives in the city, and you see your fans, and your fans love you. They love you when you win, and they hate you when you lose them. That's just the way sports is. And me being a Laker fan, Laker fans are the worst. We are the worst. I admit it. I'm a fan. I'm the worst. When we lose, I'm upset. But I'm not gonna go out. I won't go to the point of going to see a player on the street like, hey, you suck, and hey, you. I'm not gonna do all that. But I do take the game serious. And Laker fans, if you don't know about Laker fans, I'll tell you this right now. Our mentality is championship or bust. That's it. That's all. There's nothing in between. There's no, we had a good season. Oh, yeah, we won the division title. No. Because that's why, if in the Lakers facility, they don't hang anything but championship banners. They don't hang conference finals banners. They don't hang division titles. They don't do none of that. Laker fans are championship or bust. And that's the mentality that's been in the Lakers organization for as long as I can remember. Since Jerry Buss took over, God rest his soul, that was one of the things. It was championship or bust. He did whatever he did to make a championship team. Yeah, they had times when they had down years, but he always had a plan. Jerry always had a plan. Yeah, we down for a minute, but don't worry about it. I'm working on it because I know what the city needs, and I know what my team is capable of. So he always tried to find that player that has that gene in them that he knows that could take him over the top. He had it in Magic Johnson. He had it in Kobe Bryant, and the organization believes they have it in LeBron James. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying LeBron is not a clutch player, but there are times now he's 39, maybe 40 years old now, and maybe his mind says he can do it, but his body's like, maybe I can't do it. But he's still out there every day. He gets frustrated. This last loss, he got frustrated, said some things in the media about the referees and the fouls called and all stuff, things of that nature. But he has that gene in him. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think makes a clutch? What do you think about being clutch? Can it be? Is it something that's born into you? Like when you're a kid and you're in the driveway of your house, and you're shooting the basket and you're going 5, 4, 3, and you make the shot? Is it that? Or is it something that you just, you is built into you, or is you learn? You say, no matter what the odds is, I'm going to be the best player I can at this sport. And so all throughout your career, you prove yourself, you prove the doubters wrong, you prove yourself wrong by just keep doing it night after night after night. So, all-time clutch players. Let's think about that for a minute. Who are all-time clutch players? Well, one was, like I said, Michael Jordan. He was unbeaten in the finals, 6-0 in NBA Finals. He had a steal in the series-winning shot against Utah in the final seconds of the 1998 Finals. He had so many buzzer beaters. And don't forget, he won an NCAA title against Georgetown when he hit the game-winning shot when he was just a freshman at North Carolina. So, yeah, Jordan had it in him. Jordan knew what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. He would get the ball. He would, like I said, he was, kind of clear him out the way and take the shot. But he didn't just do that in the finals. Jordan did that during the regular season. I remember, when I was watching the Lakers and I heard about Jordan, I watched a couple of games and I was like, oh yeah, he gonna be good. He gonna be good, just from the things he was doing. The one series that he played the Lakers, and that's when you gotta understand that in sports there's always dynasties, but then there's always that heir to the dynasty. That team, there's that one team that's a dynasty, but then there's another team that comes behind them that has that player that says, I'm going to take over, I'm going to take the crown from you. So in my opinion, that's what happened. The Lakers had the dynasty for the 80s, and they were the team to beat. Everybody every time somebody came to play us, I say us because that's my team, but every time you came to play them, somebody was looking to knock Magic off the heel, knock Kareem off the heel, knock the team off the heel, because they were saying, they're the mighty Lakers, but we're going to show them that we can beat them. And they never did, because the Lakers won 5 championships behind that. But then here comes Jordan. And I never forget, I remember the game. Jordan was coming down the lane, and he did I think an up and under move and got to the basket. And I think Marv Albert had the call on that game. He said, a spectacular move from Michael Jordan. And I was like, oh, there it is right there. And I think Magic at that moment knew. He knew. He looked at him and said, yeah, he about to take the crown. So I think in that moment, mentally, he passed the crown over to Michael and said, yeah, you got the lead. You take it from here. So Michael took the reins of that and, like I said, went on to win 6 championships with that. In another sport, Joe Montana. He played for the San Francisco 49ers. He was unbeaten in the Super Bowl. Went to Super Bowl 4 times, won 4 times. The intensity, the pressure he had to win, I had just started following the Niners. I think when Montana was there, like maybe his last Super Bowl, I started really following them. And yeah, he had what it took. He was one of the ones that they would call a play from the sideline, and he would wave off the coach and said, nah, we calling this. And that's that gene. He was like, I don't care what you're doing. I made it this far. I'm winning. I'm not leaving here without this trophy. I didn't come to this dance just to come in second place. I came in here to take this trophy, and that's what he did. He went in there and took that trophy. So he was there. But if you talk to Montana, I think I saw an interview on him that he talked about it. He said, it wasn't that I was a great quarterback. He said, I had great people around me. And that's, they come to that thing where it says, oh, it's a system quarterback. It's this, it's that. Every place you play, there's a system in place. It's just up to you to know when to use the system, when not to use the system, or when to try to put people in place, or when not to do it. And we'll just take the game over yourself. So yeah, in every sport, there's plays that's called. There's plays that's called up. There's drives that are called up. They tell you to go here, go there. You're supposed to be in this spot when the ball comes here, or if you do this and break this way, this guy's gonna pick that your man. It's gonna take you that way and go this way and go. All that. But sometimes players, these clutch players I'm talking about, will say, you know what? Nah, this is gonna be on me, and you'll see them wave them off, or you'll see you'll see the quarterback, wave off the coach and say, no, I'm checking it, and they'll call it checking at the line. So a great quarterback will see what the defense is trying to do and change the play at the line. And if you know your playbook, you'll see the signs to give you, or whatever he calls out. I think Peyton Manning called it Omaha. And everybody on the field knew what to do, what Omaha meant. It didn't mean go leave the playing field and go to Omaha, Nebraska. It meant that there was a play call for just that moment, and Peyton did it. So, clutch players, that's what they do. They take the game to the with themselves. They understand what it means to be. And that's not just in baseball and basketball. I focus on baseball and basketball a lot. Basketball and football a lot because, that's what I watch the most. But I do watch a little baseball and I see a couple of things. But, I can't really speak on, clutch hitters in baseball because I really don't follow it until it comes to the World Series, and then I'll turn in. So I can't really say that. Another player was John Elway. He was the master of the fourth quarter comeback. The game they will be down, maybe a touchdown or something. In the fourth quarter, he'll march the team. I think there's a notable play that he had called the drive. That they were down, and he did what he had to do for them to win the game. Another clutch player and team was the Boston Celtics of the Bill Russell era. They won 11 championships in 13 years. Think of that, 11 championships in 13 years. 11 championships in 13 years. That's saying something right there. That's saying that we the baddest on the field. Come take it from us. Every time we go, we know we're gonna win, and that's the mentality you got to have, not just as a player but as a team. You got to have the mentality that no matter what people do, no matter what people say, we're gonna take this, and come take it from me. That's all that matters. Come take it from me. If you think you're big and bad, come take it from me. It's like putting a chip on your shoulder, or putting not a chip, but something on your shoulder and daring somebody to knock it off. If you think you're big and bad, come knock it off. And if they can't knock it off, then, it is what it is. In golf, there was somebody by the name of Jack Nicholson. And he played his best golf when it mattered the most. He won 18 majors. And in golf, there's different tournaments, but there's the major tournaments that really, stand out. I don't follow golf like that, but I know there's been different tournaments, and there's the Masters, there's Pebble Beach, there's all these other ones. But Jack Nicholson was the one that, when it mattered the most, his game stepped up. Now, in golf, I don't know how that works because this is an individual sport. And how does that work that you could just take over a golf game like that? I guess it's just the focus of knowing where to hit the ball, how to hit the ball, how much strength to put on the ball, how much to take off the ball, how to drop it in a certain place. But I'm sure that comes from years and years and years of training on how to hit it. Because I'll just I'll go to the golf course and just hit that ball, boop, and it's gone. And I was like, oh yeah, it might fall over there. Or I'll, hit it and be like 5 feet from the hole and miss it. But that takes, you can watch it on TV and see it. It's like, I can do that. But when you get out there, it's not as easy as it thinks. You got to know how the green breaks, how when you hitting I guess it's a par. I want to say a par or a chip shot. You got to know how the grass breaks and how the wind blows, and it's all these factors that come into place. But Jack Nicholson was one of the ones who mastered that. Now, I talked about Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson had 5 NBA titles, but there were 2 that stood out. The one in 1987 when he beat Boston in Game 4, who were the hated Boston Celtics that the Lakers hate. That rivalry goes back, years and years and years and years. I think the count right now is Boston has 17 championships and we have 17 championships as we being the Lakers. And the rivalry is, and I have that rivalry now. I've said it before. I hope somebody beats Boston because I don't want them to get to 18 before we get 18. And that's just a big rivalry. But Magic did it. And it was in Game 4. He had a last second baby hook shot to beat the Boston Celtics. That was in Game 4 in 1987. But in 1980, they were playing the Celtics again, I believe. No, I'm sorry. They were playing Philadelphia, the 76ers. And this is what I mean about the crown transferring. So I think in that era, he took the crown from Dr. J because Dr. J was the guy, and Magic came in as a rookie in 1980 and took the crown from Dr. J. And it was his rookie season, and Kareem had got hurt in Game 5, so they pushed Magic to center, and they asked him to play center. And Magic showed him what he had. He ended up scoring 42 points. and they beat the Philadelphia 76ers 123-107 in Game 6. So, like I said, Magic was playing center. So he's playing center and playing point and scoring 42 points to beat the Philadelphia 76ers. That was clutch. So you imagine a coach coming to you and says, hey, you know what? Our center's out. Our center is Kareem. And Kareem, I think Kareem was like 6'10", maybe 7 feet. And Magic's like 6'10". And so the coach comes to you and says, hey, I need you to play center today. You're about the biggest guy we got on the floor. I know you play point, but I need you to play center tonight. And instead of him just like saying, nah, coach, I can't do it, get somebody else, he just said, yeah, I got it. Like I said, he has that gene in him. He had that clutch gene in him. And he had it in college because he used to go against Bird in college when he played for Michigan. And yeah, he had it then. There was a lot of games that he took the game in his hand and know what he had to do. I think one of Magic's favorite conversations were saying, and people didn't understand it. He would say, I can beat you. He said, you get the 5 best players you got, and I'll take 5 scrubs, and I'll still beat you. Can you imagine somebody telling you that? You get your 5 best, and I'll take 5 scrubs, and I'll still beat you. That's him knowing the game, knowing the nuances of the game, knowing how to run people. And I'm sure he would take like the 5 scrubs, and you take the 5 best, and he would beat you because you got the 5 best players. Think about that. You got the 5 best players. That means nobody wants to give up the ball. So out of all those 5, it's going to be always somebody saying, give me the ball, I got it, let me take the shot. And then that causes confusion, and then that causes people not to run plays for it. So you be like, set a screen. You'd be like, no, I ain't setting no screen because I want to take the shot. It's like, man, just set the screen. You'll get the ball back. Okay, I'll set the screen. You set the screen, and he don't give you the ball back. He try to drive to the hole, and he get blocked. And you're like, man, see, that's what I'm talking about. If you just pass the ball and see all that start happening. I think when he says, I'll take 5 scrubs, Magic will run the show, and he'll tell everybody where to go. And he'll tell them, like, here, you do this, you cut over here, you cut this way, you cut that way, you cut to the, act like, fake like you're going inside and then kick it back to the corner, and I'll hit you for the 3. Hit you with the shot, and you can make the 3. And that's what, confidence is in a clutch player, is knowing your teammates, in a team sport, of course, knowing your teammates, knowing what they can and cannot do in certain situations. So if you know somebody who could just a great shooter, but they can't drive to the basket, and you tell them, hey, just stay back there behind the line. I catch you. I hit you. You know somebody who likes to play in the paint and rebounds. Okay, you tell them, hey, look, all I need you to do is grab the rebound. Don't worry about shooting. Don't worry about doing nothing else. Play defense and grab the rebound. One of the best players that do that knew his role was Dennis Rodman. He was the kind of player that didn't shoot that well, but he knew his role. Grab rebounds and play defense. And that's how, like I said, with Jordan, some of the teams, it was other players that helped them win. Because I believe it was a series they were playing the Utah Jazz, and Rodman's assignment was to guard Karl Malone. And if you watch the tape on that, he's hitting him with elbows. He's, giving him a gut punch. He might have been tripping him, or he might have been talking trash to him, or saying something about his mama. Who knows what he was doing? But he was doing his job. Phil Jackson told him, your job is to play defense and get rebounds. And that's what he did. He's like, okay, I got it. What do you need me to do? Hit him in the solar plexus? Give him a 2-piece? Yeah, that's all I need you to do, Rodman. That's all I need you to do. Just do that. Just play defense and grab your rebound. And that right there frustrated Karl Malone so much that he couldn't play his game. He would get frustrated. He'd be like, man, I'm sure he was complaining to the referees and the officiating, telling them, man, you see what he's doing to me? You see how he's doing to me? And the ref's like, just play the game, Karl. And that's the thing about when you're a player like that and you're a star player, you think you get star treatment because they look at you and say, well, you're a big man, you can take it. Rodman ain't that big. He ain't bigger than you. I think Malone's biceps was bigger than Rodman. But Rodman had tendencies and nuances he would do to a player that would just take him out their game. And that today, in today's game, that's valuable. You can make your money off of being a defensive player. There's players that run the league right now. I think KCP plays for Denver Nuggets. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's there for his defense. He can shoot when he can. Yeah, he can shoot. But his main asset is defense. And in the last game, the one I was talking about that, oh my God, hurt my heart. My wife was talking trash to me. She was saying, "Ha ha, look at him." But yeah, that's what I was watching the game, and that's what KCP did. He had Jordan. I'm sorry, he had um, LeBron. His assignment was on LeBron, and LeBron was, trying to get to the hole, and KCP was on him, and I think he knows LeBron. He knows what he gonna do, what he gonna try to do. So he just stuck his hand there and popped the ball, pushed the ball out. Great defensive play. There's nothing you can say about it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't say that, oh, he's playing dirty or nothing like that. No, he played defense on LeBron, on one of the best players in the league, LeBron James. LeBron James, what did you say? I'm sorry, that's what my granddaughter tells me all the time. I taught her how to say LeBron James, and then I say it to her, and she goes back and says, "What did you say?" So yeah, that's my definition of a clutch player. Someone who has heart, someone who has the will to win, someone who improvises on the fly. I call my wife a clutch player at times because she does decorating, and sometimes the day of the event, things, she'll have everything she needed, but there'll be that one thing that she's missing, and on the fly, boom, she'll fix it. Bam. She'll say, okay, we didn't do this, and it's done. And I told her, so that makes you a clutch player. Yeah, because that's what it means to be clutch, is that you know how to improvise on the fly. You know how to win. And most players like that, they don't praise themselves for it. They praise their teammates, they praise the coaches, they praise everybody else but themselves. And that's a big key. You got to have confidence, but you got to be humble in the same aspect. Because if you're just saying, well, yeah, if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have won the game, then no. Because you're going to have teammates watching that interview or listening to that take and like, oh, really? Is that how you feel? And it'll show up in the game. You'll say, oh, well, if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have won this. Like, oh yeah, wow, okay. Next time I ain't gonna call that pick. Or for a quarterback, as they say, that lineman, that blind slide lineman, it's like, oh yeah, really? Okay, next time I'm not blocking him coming for you because you don't see him. I'll just easily move to the left and let him take you out, and then look at you and say, now who needs who? If it wasn't for who? So you gotta, be humble in your confidence. Be humble in you being that person. So that's my time for today. I hope you appreciate the talk, the take. Until next week, we'll have more, much more, because the NBA playoffs is going on. Oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. If the Lakers lose another game, I don't know. You know what? I might have to have somebody else do the podcast because I'll be in such a distraught and array I can't even do it no more. But I thank you for taking this ride with me. Appreciate everything. Thank you for listening. This is Ray on Sports, and I am your host, Johnny Ray. You guys take care, and God bless.